Good boy, stay close. Easy there, help me gather some more wood. And you, donkey, keep watch. Good boy, fetch that vine. Steady now, this will hold. Almost there, team. All right, team, let's get this shelter built. Good boy, fetch more vines. Easy now, donkey. Good boy, fetch the vines. That's it, up we go. Almost there, team. This should hold. Good job, team. All right, let's get inside and rest. Easy now, we're almost there. This shelter will keep us safe. Good work. Easy with those branches, buddy. Good boy, keep watch. This frame is coming together.
Welcome to the Ultimate Shelter Guide. First, we'll build a strong jungle shelter. Then, an igloo to survive harsh weather. From tropical jungle to frozen Arctic, complete survival guide to building emergency shelters like lean-to huts and igloos.
In the jungle, gather long branches and large leaves.
In the snow, pack blocks tightly to form the walls.
The complete wilderness shelter survival handbook, building rain-proof jungle huts and life-saving snow igloos in extreme conditions. In the jungle, lash branches and leaves to create a protective shelter. In the Arctic, build an igloo from snow blocks for insulation and warmth. In the jungle, use vines and leaves for a sturdy shelter.
In the jungle, gather long branches and large leaves.
In the snow, pack blocks tightly to form the walls.
First, gather strong branches for the frame. Layer dry grasses thickly to insulate. A solid shelter, ready for the night. Finding water is critical. Dig near rocks for hidden sources. Use stones to build a shelter for protection. Conserve water. Every drop counts. First, clear loose debris for a stable base. Stack rocks tightly to build the walls. Finally, seal any gaps to secure the shelter. In this heat, stay shaded and drink water. Block the wind with a barrier. At night, wrap up for warmth. Stack flat rocks securely to build a durable shelter. Now, find safety in shaded overhangs within the terrain. In this dry terrain, find a rock for support. Layer branches and brush for insulation. This keeps you safe from wind and sun. Build a lean-to for immediate protection from the elements. Collect water from rock depressions. Use a branch for defense or as a walking aid. In these harsh mountains, a stone shelter is your lifeline. Stack rocks like this for stability and safety.
First, find large, flat rocks to form the base. Now, fill the gaps with smaller stones for stability.
Building this lean-to beat the heat and wind, insulating it for the cold nights, a shelter to survive it all. In these dry mountains, building a safe shelter is key. Stack flat rocks for a strong, wind-resistant base. In these dry mountains, building a safe shelter is key. Stack flat rocks for a strong, wind-resistant base. In this harsh terrain, a strong shelter is your lifeline. Place each stone firmly to build a durable wall.
First, gather dry branches for the frame. Interlock them to form a lean-to. Now add smaller branches for cover.
In a dry climate, a solid lean-to is your lifeline. Layer it thick for insulation and strength. This will protect you from the elements. In dry mountains, build a lean-to against rocks for wind protection. Layer brush densely to block gusts and insulate. Now it's secure. In rocky terrain, build against a solid wall. Layer branches over poles for insulation. This creates a long-lasting shelter.
First, find a sheltered spot, like against this rock. Layer branches and dry grass for insulation.
Got to gather materials fast in this wind. Layering the thatch for insulation.
Use dry branches and rocks to build a strong A-frame framework. Weave in brush for a tight thatch, storm-proofing your shelter. In arid mountains, start with a flat rock base. Stack smaller rocks for walls, then add a tarp for cover. A simple, effective shelter.
In harsh terrain, start with a strong A-frame. Tarp over the frame, secure with rocks. A simple, strong shelter. First, use branches to frame your shelter against a rock. Secure the base with stones for stability. Finally, cover it with a tarp for insulation. In dry mountains, speed is key. Find a rock, and they add brush thickly. This traps air and blocks wind. In arid mountains, find a sheltered spot and build a simple A-frame to insulate against wind and sun. This traps air for warmth.
In dry mountain terrain, natural shelters provide crucial protection. Using local rocks and creates durable structures that last. First, gather long branches and lean them against a rock. Now, weave in smaller twigs and grass for insulation. And it's ready. In arid mountains, shelters of rock endure wind and sun.
Construct your survival in this harsh environment.
In dry mountains, build a strong shelter to block wind and sun.
To survive out here, you need a shelter. Let's build one. Use branches for the frame and brush for insulation. Then cover it up. In this mountain desert, build a durable shelter from rocks, stack block for a solid wall. Reinforce with branches and plants for stability. In dry, windy mountains, build low and anchor well. Use local materials for insulation and a tarp for windproofing.
First, find a sheltered spot like this rock. Collect long poles to lean against it. Secure them with branches or cord.
In rocky terrain, a stone wall is your first defense. Next, add a thatch roof to block the elements.
First, gather long branches for the frame. Cover the frame with dry grass and leaves. Secure the layers.
In arid mountains, use local materials for strong, quick shelters. Layer branches and grass for insulation and wind protection. Timber! This branch will make a great ridgepole. Timber! That'll do for the frame. This tree is perfect for the shelter's frame. A few more swings and it's down. Now for the main supports. This tree is perfect for the shelter's frame. A few more swings and it's down. Now for the main supports. This tree is perfect for the shelter's frame. A few more swings and it's down. Now for the main supports. This tree is perfect for the shelter's frame. A few more swings and it's down. Now for the main supports. This tree will be the main support for our shelter. Now I'll cut it into poles. This dry wood is tough, but it'll make a strong frame. Now to secure the ridge pole. This axe is sharp, the tree's coming down. Now to secure the frame. This axe is sharp, the tree's coming down. Now to secure the frame. Chopping this tree for the main supports. Now to notch this log and build the frame. Lashing these branches tight to secure the frame. The roof is on. It's not pretty, but it'll keep me alive. Living alone in the wild mountains. Today, using an axe for precision cuts. This will give me protection. This tree will make a strong shelter. There. Sturdy enough for the night. Using these dry branches, we build the frame against the tree. Now in twigs and leaves for insulation. A solid shelter from the elements. Almost there!
This branch will secure the roof.
Strong branches for the main supports, lashing them tight for stability. The shelter is taking shape. This axe is crucial for survival out here. Building a shelter in this dry mountain. Timber! First, we chop this tree for the frame. Now we gather the branches for the shelter. Timber! This frame needs more support. Almost there, solid as a rock. Using this big tree as a frame. Now, adding foliage for cover. Gotta get this tree down now. Almost there. This will be the main support. In a dry mountain, a tree shelter is key. Gather dry branches for the roof. Layer them thick for protection. We'll use this large tree as our foundation. Layer the foliage thickly to stay hidden. The sun's brutal. This tree shelter is our only hope. Lashing these branches is tough, but it'll hold.
Using these big trees to build a quick shelter in this dry land. Now cover the frame with leaves to keep the rain off.
This tree will be my shelter. I have to cut it down. It's coming down! I need this shelter! Gathering strong poles for the frame, lash them tight to the tree with paracord. The frame is solid next to the roof.
In the forest, I'm building a quick shelter from branches and leaves.
This branch needs to go higher. Almost there, just secure this joint. Yes, the frame is solid. I've found a perfect tree for my shelter. Now, I'll lash the frame together. A strong, elevated platform for protection. This tree will be perfect for the shelter. Timber, now to build the frame. Lashing these branches tight, this frame has to be solid. Now for the ridge pole. Using these branches to insulate the roof. A simple, dry shelter for the night. First, I'll chop some branches from this tree for the frame. Now I'll lay the branches against the trunk and tie them with rope. This should hold up. This pine will do for the frame. Timber, now for the lean-to. Got to build this shelter before dark. Securing the frame now. The key is finding 2 strong trees to anchor the shelter. Layer the branches tightly for insulation. This will keep you dry. Got to find good branches for the frame. Lashing these now. This will hold. First, I set the main support poles. Lash them tight with vines. Now, add branches for cover. Lashing these branches tight. This frame is solid now. Got to get this shelter built. Come on. Just a bit more. Got to get this shelter built before dark. Come on, split. That's it, nearly there. This will hold. This will hold for the night.
Chopping this log for the frame. Now to notch and fit the supports. Securing the shelter base now.
All right, let's take down this tree for the shelter. One more swing should do it. Now to build the frame. Got to fell this tree for shelter. Now to prop it up. Almost there. Almost there. Chopping a branch for the frame. Now lashing it tight to the knife. Time to climb up and check the platform. Almost there. This will hold. These trees provide the perfect frame for the shelter. Now, layering the branches for insulation, it's coming together. Need to fell this tree for the frame. Trimming the branches now, adding it to the shelter. First, I'll chop this tree for the frame. A stone knife is great for carving. Now, secure the frame with vines. First, I'll chop this tree for the frame. A stone knife is great for carving. Now, secure the frame with vines.